Hi there, welcome back to the Daily Fight. My name is Robyn Tanner, and today I want to talk to you about my Dare to Quit quiz. So you can just drop down in the show notes or wherever you're watching this, and I believe it is robyntanner.com/quit quiz. And you can go in here and you can take the quiz. It'll take you about 5 minutes, maybe less than that, and figure out the patterns in your life that are holding you back so we can trash some of these habits, get you some power moves, and really just bring about awareness and identify those hidden secret little sabotaging ways that we go about to keep us from success and peace and power and happiness and joy and free from overthinking and staying stuck and leading mediocre average lives, because we did not wake up to be average, and you are not here to stay stuck, settling, second guessing, surviving, and starting over. And those are the 5 main quit zones. So I'm going to break them down for you one by one, and then go in and take the quiz to figure out and identify exactly where those patterns are popping up, because you will fall into definitely one, possibly 2 areas where you find those repeat offenders in your life, those habits that you may not even realize that you're doing. They show up in the way that you communicate, in the way that you present yourself, in the things that you're doing or not doing, habits, behaviors, mindsets, attitude, energy, all of the things. So if you are ready to figure out some power moves and move forward with that, go take my Dare to Quit quiz. And I know that is a tongue twister, and I'm probably going to mess it up a few times as I go through these. But the first one we're going to talk about is settling. That you are ready, that you are done, like you are sick and tired. You are done settling in life. If you are in this quit zone, the settling quit zone, you're going to have that like nagging dissatisfaction in life. You know you're made for more. You think you deserve more. You know you deserve more. And you're kind of questioning, is this all there is? And you're settling because you have developed some story that you tell yourself. You're too old, or you've invested too much, or you've been doing it too long in your career, or you've been married this long. And by no means am I condoning go quit your job or get a divorce. That's not what I'm condoning. I'm just bringing about awareness to the things that you already know, because I believe that you already have all the answers inside. But it takes coaches and mentors and role models and people to actually bring it out and kind of surface those things, because we hide them and we stifle them. And if you are settling, you could be burnt out, you could be overwhelmed, because you are accepting average, you're accepting status quo. And this is going to look like a few different things: restlessness, bitterness, resentment. So if you're starting to kind of feel and notice that these are some areas in your life, whether it's personal and home relationships, it's professional in the workplace, in your career, in the job, in the purpose, in the mission that you're in the work environment that you're in, maybe it's physical with your body, with your health, with your attitude, any of those things are feeling resentful, you're having some regret, you're not doing the thing that you think you should be doing, that you want to do, and that you're just kind of in that groundhog day, wake up every day is the same. All of these things are leading because you are not voicing that you're ready to move, that you're ready for the next step, the next stage, that you're ready, that basically you're in an identity foreclosure, which means you have outgrown, you have outworked, you have outgrown. You are in a place right now in your life, regardless of where it is, that you're done with it and you're ready to move on, but you're settling for what you have. And you're stuck in the same old routine, and you feel unappreciated, you feel invisible, you don't feel heard. Basically, when you're settling, you are wishing. You got the whole vision board dream up and you are wishing, but you're not doing anything. You're not taking action. You are staying silent. You are staying small. You are staying hidden. You're keeping the peace, but you've got a war going on inside. All right, moving on. The next one is suffering. The suffering is where you are stuck in a mindset that the only path to success, the only way through is to suffer. And sometimes we cause our own suffering. A lot of the times we actually cause our own suffering because suffering is a part of the process. It's a part of growing you and strengthening you. It's a part of overcoming. It's a part of building resilience. Everybody suffers in life, but some of us get stuck there. So you might be stuck right in the suffering stage in your life where you're grinning and bearing it, where you think you have to take on all the responsibility and you keep saying yes and piling things onto your plate because you're afraid to let go of control, or you don't want to defer or delegate to other people. You don't trust them, or you've been betrayed before. So you just keep taking on everything yourself. And in my world, I call it your Thanksgiving plate, that like you just keep piling on like it's Thanksgiving, and you tend to take on more when we're in this state, handle all of the pain, keep it inside. Other people, we downplay it and almost be condescending to ourselves because we think that our pain isn't as bad as somebody else. There's people that have it way worse than me. My life isn't that bad. It's just okay. This is a form of suffering. Oftentimes, this will look like overworking, overexercising, avoiding, isolating, kind of overindulging in activities because you're escaping, right? Because as soon as you sit down, as soon as you relax, as soon as you do nothing, you feel the pain. You feel the suffering. And if you keep going and you keep moving and you're in momentum and you're doing things and you feel like you're doing and you're progressing and you're serving and you're helping and you are consumed, the minute that you breathe, the minute that it's quiet, you feel the suffering and the pain and the trauma and the hurt and the betrayal and the abandonment and the rejection and all of the things that we've all been through, because none of this is unique, right? I've talked about that before. Like, our problems are not unique. They are not special. We are not special. And I know some people are going to be offended by that, but we are not alone in our fight. And in my family and in my coaching world, we have a saying that no one in this family fights alone, that we are in this together. And while you go through suffering, and there are stages where you need to settle for certain things in life, this will manifest in ways where you're chronically ill, where you have headaches, where you have anxiety, where you'll be exhausted, where you'll just go, 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 go until you drop down. And then you wonder why you crash and burn for 3 or 4 days. You're causing your own suffering, but you're really in a place of being disconnected. And the attitude of suck it up and deal with it isn't going to get you out of the suffering any longer. It's really about revealing it, being aware of it. So actually sitting in the suffering, but we're not going to talk about the how of it. It's just bringing the awareness of this might be one of the zones that you're in if you recognize some of the behaviors or the feelings that I'm describing. All right, your next one is surviving, that you are ready to quit surviving. And this is, I just got to make it to Monday. I just got to make it to Friday. I just got to make it another 2 years until I get to retire. I just got to wait until the kids are in college. I just got to wait until they're married. You're waiting for the next event. You're waiting for the next goal. I just got to get to the end of this project. I just got to get to this deadline. I just got to make a little bit more money. I just need enough. You are in the survival state, and you could be here because of a circumstance or a situation totally out of your control. It could be because of choices that you made or you didn't make, but you're in a survival state. You're completely probably shut down and you're going through the motions. You're numbing out whatever vice it might be for you. The day to day is basically got you trapped. You are imprisoned in your own routine, in your attitude, in your beliefs that this is life, this is all you can do. You feel trapped. This is, I have been here, and this is probably one of the worst quit zones to be in, is in a survival state. Now, sometimes we're in places where we have to do what we need to do to get through, to get by. I get that. But if you find yourself in a perpetual state and you start to become helpless or you start to become hopeless, you consider quitting everything altogether. Or you're accepting average, or you're accepting that this is all that there is for you. And you silently start to dumb down yourself and dumb down your dreams. If you start to have, like, you feel lost or you feel directionless, you're just completely out of state and in that place where you start to doubt your abilities, doubt your capacity, doubt that any of this has any meaning. I used to say a lot, what's the point, right? You'll find yourself in that state where you're just doing the bare minimum of what you need to do. You're skimming the surface in order to get by, to get through the day. You're counting down the clock. This is not living. And again, if you're not going through a a major trauma right now, if you're not going through a major life transition, right? Like moving, death, divorce, all of those things are like, I think there's like 5 major life transformations. And this has just become the norm for you in a day to day. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the major life transformations. And it goes without saying to make sure that you have a therapist or a counselor, have a good coach. Hello, hi. But this is another one of those states where you want to get out of survival mode, that you recognize that you're here, that you want to do other things, that you long to do other things, that you have those desires, but you are so stuck and you can't get off the hamster wheel. You're on the treadmill of life. You feel like you're doing a bunch of things, but you're not getting anywhere. And it's starting to make you dumb down your dreams and your life and your desires and your capability. So this is a really tough place to be. So if this sounds like a little bit familiar to you, make sure that you go and you take the quit quiz. The next one that we're going to talk about is the second guessing. The second guessing is exactly that. This is where doubt is your constant companion. He's like your right hand man, and you are questioning, you're overthinking, you're completely overwhelmed. You could even be in a state of like perfecting things where you've been sitting on something for a long time. You're in a decision fatigue, which it's just taking up so much energy. You feel like it shouldn't be this hard. It shouldn't be this difficult to make decisions. You can't walk forward in the face of uncertainty. Like you want to control the situation. You want to have all the answers before you go. And unfortunately, you're not going to get the answer until you make the decision and you take the next step. We have talked about this a lot, that there's a line that you cross. And as soon as you cross the line, as soon as you let go of the past and you stop questioning where you're at right now, just for a second, and listen to yourself and trust yourself and have belief in yourself, you will stop second guessing and learn to make quick, effective decisions with the information that you have right now and move forward. And then forget about the what ifs and everything that could go wrong, and only think about all of the what ifs for what could go right. The what if it works out? What if this is what everybody needs? What if this is the best thing for my family? What if this is the support that I need, the decision that I need, the answer that I'm looking for? And you're not going to know that until after you execute on it. And if it's wrong, then you learn the lesson and you grow anyways and you move forward with new information. But if you find your place in that state where you're beating yourself up or you're punishing yourself or you're not making any decision at all, I think it's really just more of trusting yourself that you've made the decision, but you're not executing it because you're scared, because you're uncertain, because you're not walking in faith. So you're going to stay in that perpetual cycle of second guessing yourself. Now, this can manifest like a bunch of different things. And I'm not a doctor, but if you're second guessing yourself, you're going to be higher stressed, which is all self-induced because it will be resolved. I want you to think back to a time in your life that you have second guessed yourself over a decision and you've created anxiety and just anticipating having the crucial conversation, deciding going after the job, starting the new relationship, actually speaking up and saying what you really want to. And you've spent so much time second guessing, it's ate up all your energy, all of your attention, that you can't function, that you can't do all of the other things that you need to do at the level that you need to do them, that you want to do them. And you're never satisfied. And the only way to build up this and the only way to exit that cycle of second guessing yourself is to execute and push the green light on the thing that you're not doing that you want to do. And you already know what is right. You already know what you want to do, but you're not acting on it because of fear of the unknown. You might think you're going to miss out on something. You might be afraid of being judged. You might be afraid of missing out on what your friends or your family may think or do or leave without you, when you know that moving forward, sometimes you outgrow. Sometimes you outgrow the people, the places, and the things that you're doing. And that's what we work here a lot on, fighting for your future self. So it's really working on building that self-trust and belief. That's what second guessing is all about, which brings us to the final main quit zone point, starting over. But I also like to call it quit quitting on yourself. You quit quitting on yourself. That's where you want to be. This is the perpetual, let's take diet plans, for example, in the fitness industry, right? We start over on Monday. We always start on Monday. So that is the quit quitting on yourself. Like, why bother? I'll probably fail anyways. It's not going to work out. This doesn't work for people like me. That's the negative chatter that you're listening to in your head. That's nonsense. If the thought is not positive, if the thought is not good, if the thought is not focusing on the future and the potential outcome of what could be and what is true and what is okay, then it is a lie. But we continue to quit on ourselves because we haven't built up enough endurance and resilience and honestly grit and stick-to-itiveness and staying power to keep moving forward when we can't see that much further in front of us. When you're driving at night, your headlights your headlights, they only shine about 6 feet in front of you. You don't get to see the whole highway. You don't get to see all of the answers. You don't get to see the movie and how it plays out. Only God knows that. And by continuing to sell yourself short because you quit one day too soon, you quit one rep too soon, one phone call, one email. And if you keep quitting on yourself, you're going to be in a state of feeling defeated, of feeling discouraged, of being disappointed. You're not going to have the energy or the enthusiasm or the passion or the drive that you need to keep going. You've got to build up your endurance. So you might be in that state where you're constantly starting over. Why am I here again? Why can't I get this right? I'm such a failure. I'm such a loser. Like, this will never happen for me. It's only for those type of people. You are in this zone. So let's recap all of them really quickly. We've got 5 of them. We've got the settling, we've got the suffering, we've got the surviving, we have the second guessing, and we have the starting over or the quitting on yourself. And all of these different zones, I've got that quiz for you. I told you it was going to be a tongue twister. I've got that quiz for you, so make sure you go and take it. It'll take less than 5 minutes. You can get the link below in the comments, and I believe it is at robyntanner.com/quit quiz, and it'll just give you more awareness to really see where you're at, what you identify with, to bring more awareness and to kind of surface this. And I'll tell you what, this is what people won't do, because we get in our own way and we get in our own head, and then we stay there, and then we ask about 10 different people what we should do. Then we vent about it, then we gossip about it, and then we become a victim. And then guess what? We're right back in that perpetual cycle of either being stuck, settling, second guessing, surviving, and starting over again and again. And you've got to have somebody pull you out of that so that you can fight for your future self, so that you can take the next step. And next week, that next step is going to be going through my program, my transformation experience program called The Rise. And I'm going to be going through the different phases of it all week to bring some awareness so that you can identify some of the mistakes that you're making. I'm not giving you the how, but I'll give you the how when you enroll into the Rise transformation experience. But I will give you the mistakes that you're making, why they're mistakes, why they're not working for you, and the different phases that you'll be going through if you're ready to forge yourself, to take bold steps for your future self, to actually do the damn thing that you want, to finally get off the cycle and quit. And it's a dare. This really is a dare, because it's scary and it's hard and it's a struggle. And if you can honor that with faith and with a little bit of fight and a little bit of fire in your belly, and if you can have the fortitude to withstand that, to be vulnerable, to be transparent, to own up to it, because most people don't, most people won't. Most people will never want to know where their flaws are, where their patterns are. They just want to talk about it and complain about it. And they want to stay in that cycle because that cycle is familiar and it's safe. And the minute you step outside of that, into the unknown, into the dark, that's where it gets hard, but that's also where it gets real. And that's where the transformation happens. That's where the magic happens. And it's not a quick fix. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that it is. This takes years. I've been doing this for 9 years, and I've been coaching for 26 years, and I'm still learning to grow through it. And here's the thing. You will get out of your quit zone. You will get out of the suffering and the settling and the surviving and the second guessing and the starting over, but they will come back. They will come back to pull you backwards. But having that awareness, you can't unlearn it. Nobody can take it away from you. Nobody can come and steal you or rob you of that knowledge and wisdom and energy and resources that you get from doing this work. Now, my coach, Anthony Trucks, calls this the DART work. Other people call it the inner work. And right now, I'm sticking with the forge, because this is where we are hammered, where we are strengthened, where we are refined, where we are sharpened. This is where it's like hitting the floor doing a burpee. If you've ever done burpees, you hit the floor and you get up. You hit the floor and you get up. And it's like the most brutal, stupid exercise in the world, but it's a really good metaphor in life, because the faster that you can get up, the stronger you become. So I hope this helps somebody today. I hope it resonates with somebody today, to just recognize that you might be in a state that you don't have to stay in. You can quit it. And I help people quit for a living. I help them quit their jobs. I help them quit their relationships. I help them quit the relationships with themselves that they don't want to be anymore. And I help them do the damn thing that they want to do, whatever it might be across the board for you, physically, professionally, and personally. My name is ROBYN Tanner. This is the Daily Fight, and I will see you next week, and we will go into the Rise experience. Have a beautiful day. Peace out.